If you don't subscribe, you will be smacked down by the Lord. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Uhari, and this is my channel where I talk about things that catch my eye, like shiny things catch the attention of a crow. So today I'm going to be talking about a very timely topic, of course, Amy Schumer, because it's totally 2017 where she was still relevant. How did this come on my radar? So it's a Saturday, I'm scrolling through YouTube, spending some time with Ali. It's what I call the algorithm. We're playing a little game where she's like, I know what you want to see. And I'm like, do not recommend. And she says, okay, I know what you want to see. And I say, not interested. And then she said, okay, what about this? And I said, God damn it, bitch, you know me so well. Let's get into it. So I'm excited because the title alone is hilarious, because the video is like almost an hour long. Before I get into it, for those of you who don't know who Amy Schumer is this white female comedian who really came onto the scene early to mid 2010s. She had quite a run actually for a while there. She had her own show on Comedy Central. She was in a bunch of movies, and she had her specials, which were actually on Netflix, by the way. There was a whole scandal where she was complaining because she felt that she was paid far less by Netflix because she's a woman. She sued them. I think she got money from it. And there is one other thing that she changed on Netflix, and that was they took away the dislike button because of her. See, so many people were disliking her special that it really, really hurt her little feelings. And Netflix was like, okay, I guess we'll cater to your feelings, oh sacred white woman. Yeah, I'm making this about race today because I truly believe that the only person who can get away with this particular joke and not be completely destroyed by it and not have people mob them by it, I don't think a white man could have gotten away with this, let alone anybody else. And to me, that brought up a larger conversation about not just white privilege, but white female privilege. Because it's real. It's not a secret that people on the internet don't think that Amy Schumer is funny, particularly white men. White men have a particularly strong disdain for Amy Schumer, and with good reason. See, Amy Schumer is a joke stealer. So if you are laughing at any of her jokes and find them funny, chances are she didn't write them.
You have a gorilla master? Gorilla master? That's it. You come in a face, right? And then take some pubic hair and throw it at her.
There's the Abraham Lincoln. That's where the guy trims his pubes, comes on the girl's face, and then throws the pubes. So she has that facial hair.
You have a poltergeister? Poltergeist is good. Well, you need your friend, though, right? Like you're fucking him from behind, and then you sneak out, and he takes your place, and then you walk outside and wave at her through the window. And then you go, I'm here.
The worst one I've ever heard is the Houdini, which is where the guy's having sex with the girl from behind. Then unbeknownst to her, his friend subs in for him. Guy number one runs outside, knocks on the window, waves to the girl.
So yeah, she's pretty much the female Drake of the comedy scene, in the sense that we know you ain't written that, and it ain't even that good. Fire your people and hire you people. I just realized that the sun is moving and you guys can see it, but whatever. So I'm excited to watch this young man watch Amy Schumer and not laugh. And so I start watching, and the jokes. Oof, 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 oof. I don't know how this lady made it as far as she did, because Jesus Christ. So the jokes they're bad. They're not funny. She's very cringy. Her whole shtick is my vagina. I'm a whore. I sleep around. Ha ha ha. That was it. That's just like the whole shtick of it. But I couldn't get through the whole video because somewhere around the 9 minute mark, she made a joke so egregious that it made me immediately stop. And I was like, oh, I can't finish this. This is too cringy and too distasteful for my liking. So I go to the comment section and I see it timestamped like that point, because I know YouTube does this thing now. Like if you're looking at the comment section and at a particular point and somebody put like a timestamp for that point, that comment will come up and then you'll see it. And so a couple of people had like tagged that particular moment as the point where they tapped out because they couldn't take it. It was disgusting. So I feel like I'm gonna play it. Trigger warning, the joke is about rape. So I'm gonna play the video, and then afterwards I'm gonna play a quick palate cleanser, okay, a clip from Family Feud by Steve Harvey. The compilations are hilarious. Whenever you're feeling depressed, just Family Feud, Steve Harvey, and you'll find a bunch of hilarious videos. But I'll put just one of my favorites there just as a palate cleanser because it's not gonna be nice, okay? Here we go.
I don't know. Like, how do you pick that person? How are you like, yes, you forever, for life? Like, even for me, as I get older,
The guide is to pick someone who's not like
like
her.
I used to sleep with Hispanic guys, but now I just prefer consensual. I don't know.
Well, first of all. Second of all, that's illegal.
All right. Just a scotch.
Oh, so girls can talk about it.
Hair. It's true. Every girl I know has one night, usually in college, and she's like, oh. No, what's the
Hey.
It's consent. I don't remember yelling yes. And it's because when men are in their 20s, they're legally retarded. It's a fact. At that age, they take a woman sleeping as a suggestion.
Maybe just the men you hang out with. Amy.
But when we think rape, we think like Law and Order. You picture SVU, right? Some chick like me, like a girl looks like me running in the park, just like I have a 1 bedroom and a dog, just really happy, right?
No.
Crackhead pops out, he's like, throws you in a bush. I'm having sex with you. It's not your decision. You're like, that's the worst.
This milk is gonna be warm
That's
by the
one
time I'm
of the
done.
rapes. But it's other shit.
Should put ice in it.
Other shit. It's not all black and white, you know? There is a gray area of rape. Like you've been raped. I can tell. How old are you? You're like young. How old are you? 24. Have you been raped?
Who asked that kind of
Something
question?
to look forward to. I'm kidding. I'm not wishing that on her. I mean, statistically. No, but here's the thing.
Oh.
I'm a little sluttier than the average bear. I'll be real about it.
Give me a boy's name that starts with the letter H.
Jose.
Jose with an H. Name something that follows the word pork.
You pine.
Huh?
Huh? You pine. Yes, Luna.
He said cupine.
Cupine.
What is cupine?
This is the greatest answer I've ever heard.
No, I feel you. I feel you. It's number one.
On my mama.
It's number one. Oh, really? I tell you what, it's gonna be number one on YouTube, but it ain't gonna be number one. Bet every dollar I got. You the only person that said cupine.
Cupine. Oh Lord. I think I'm gonna link that compilation in the description because really, if you're having a bad day, it's just gonna be amazing for you. Whew. Okay, so the joke itself, the joke was horrible from start to end. And there are two elements of the joke that just are terrible. I was particularly disturbed by this. So I want to start first talking about dark humor. When I first saw the video, I was so mad and I was kind of irate and I was like, certain things can't be joked about. And then I was watching another video by Abba and Preach, and then they ended up making a rape joke and I laughed.
You know when
Such a fucked up way.
you know when you go to auditions and you see what the typecast is. You know, you see what the cast is or what the typecast is. It's
Yeah.
like all light skin, all black people. Imagine this one where you go in and nobody's sitting down because they can't. Oh, you here for the same thing too? Yeah, I'll just stand up. It's like that's crazy. Oh my God, you guys are making fun of grape.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, let me revisit my stance on dark humor. I had forgotten. And because in my mind, I have a rule about dark humor. And the rule is that you can joke about something bad, but it can't be at somebody's direct expense. So you're in a room and you joke about fat people. It's different from you're in a room and you joke about that one fat person over there. Then it's personalized, right? Or you make a generalized racial joke about white people, which is acceptable. Amen, double standards. I didn't make them, but it has to be in a way that doesn't directly and socially affect the people at the expense of this joke. If there is someone at the expense of it, like it feels like somebody's really harmed by this, that this joke doesn't land because there is no real punchline in ha ha ha, Hispanic men are rapists. Oh God. The feeling is coming over me again. Oof. Oh God. Firstly, you can tell there weren't many, if any, Hispanic people in the room because people laughed and nobody was gasping. And I thought about that. I thought, had she said black men, people would have been outraged. She wouldn't have even structured that joke like that. Because sensitivity towards racism against black people is higher just because it's easy to identify and see. The extremes of white and black make those interactions stand out more. So when other non-white groups face discrimination from white people, it's not as attention grabby. Because again, the hot racial issue across the world is black and white. Human beings are very dichotomous beings. Nuance is hard. But I really do feel like that the way the joke was received is emblematic of a greater racial issue for Americans to deal with, because my ass ain't American. I'm just a pot stirrer, y'all. I'm just a pot stirrer. I feel like you don't have to live somewhere to recognize something and be like, I don't like that. As a black person, there's a sense of just like universally identifying with anybody else that gets discriminated against for very prejudiced reasons. So, because of that, if somebody's like, oh, they treated me like this because I'm Hispanic and they're discriminating, I'm like, yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong. I feel you. I know that. But it hit me harder this time. And I was searching for it, and then I realized why it hit me harder. It hit me harder because of a person by the name of George Torres Jr. George Torres Jr. is a man who was murdered by a disgusting person by the name of Sarah Boone. These two people were in a very toxic relationship where there was abuse on both ends. But because he is A man, B Hispanic, and that she was a white woman, he was the one who would end up getting arrested. Even in instances where the police could identify that he was the one who had the physical evidence of being abused and she was the one who was okay. There were times where they were like, doesn't seem like he's the aggressor, but she was able to get away with a lot because he was Hispanic and a man. And so his life wasn't as protected. One of the crazy things she says in the interrogation is his family always said I was going to kill him. Yeah. And she did. And she almost got 7 years. But because she's a narcissist, she ended up getting life because they went through with the trial, and these digital rectangular motherfucking snitches that we have told the entire story because the bitch was filming herself doing some really crazy shit. It stands to reason that had it not been a white woman who was doing this, perhaps intervention would have been taken. But because she's this white woman, she was very easy to go into that victim role. And the victim role, when you aren't a victim and you're a woman, is a very powerful position to be in because you can destroy a man's life. One word. Rape! 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 Even just the appearance of that socially destroys somebody. These are conversations that I had to have with myself as I was coming down from my more extremist feminist phase where I actually dehumanized men. So when I started to actually spend more time with men in the real world as opposed to just men online and the archetype, and got out of the goddamn echo chamber, I started to realize that if I don't care about men, then I perpetuate this culture of men versus women, and I can't afford to have that because women are dying. Children are dying. Men are dying. We're dying because at some point we lost the ability to coexist with one another in harmony. The words that I speak are very important because they affect the social climate we live in, all individually. Just the way we speak about things has social ramifications. What are the social ramifications of Hispanic men are rapists? Just look at the stats. And then saying to somebody, have you been raped? Have you been raped? I'm like, does this girl even have social skills? Where you homeschool? What is going on? Do you not know that some things you don't say? Ew, dog. And she's like, not that I'm wishing you harm. Oh, okay. Just statistically speaking. Almost could have kind of saved it, but really didn't. So I was like, ugh. I'm mad because somebody is being negatively affected by this. And the joke wasn't funny. My video falls apart the second I laugh at the joke that Amber and Preach make. And then a day later, I through no effort of my own, stumbled into a rape joke. Yo, I feel terrible. Okay, here's the story. We have a family friend. Family friend had 2 dogs, Milo and Ginger. Did not spay Ginger, so Ginger kept having puppies. Okay, not my dog. Don't blame me. I kept on telling them. Anyway, Ginger kept having puppies and she got sick of it and was like, you know what? I'm just going to get rid of Ginger and then get another little boy puppy. So I said to my sister, Milo's going to rape that dog. And then that's not the joke. And then she was like, how could you say something like that? And I was like, no, because so-and-so had a dog and then they got another dog. And a big problem is that the bigger one started raping the little one and then they had to separate them. And it's a thing that happens with boy dogs. If you've ever had dogs, you know when the season of heat comes, they're gonna want to copulate and they kind of just want to hump whatever's there. So I was like, don't you know? Like niggas in prison. So I didn't mean to do it. But here's why it's funny. It was at no one's expense. And there was a setup for it, even though I was intentionally telling it. Ha ha, Hispanic men are rapists had like no good setup. And I didn't, men fucking rape each other in jail. And some of it like have consensual sex. But it's a thing that happens when there are no women. That's sexual frustration. It's a thing that happens. It actually happens all throughout the animal kingdom. Again, you see it a lot with dogs. So homosexual activity in and that of itself is very natural. People are like, it's unnatural. Well, then y'all gotta talk to y'all God, because y'all God made a bunch of gay everywhere. Even the animals are doing it. So you tell me what's unnatural. Homophobia or gay sex? So yeah, that's when I realized Amy Schumer's biggest sin is not being funny. You're not funny and you don't really get dark humor. People who don't get dark humor do it at the expense of somebody and it makes people really uncomfortable. Here's what's supposed to happen with dark humor. It has to make people uncomfortable, but also they laugh and then they feel bad for laughing. So you want people to feel bad at the end of your joke, but you want them to feel bad for laughing. You don't want them to feel bad in general because you try to go out for fun and then you were told by Amy Schumer that you were going to be raped. Ew. Black men are rapists. Do you feel it? But in that room, it didn't stop anything. That wasn't enough, man. So what I'm trying to say at the end of the day is, how does she still have a career? How did she get so far? And how has she not been hunted down by Twitter? Why are people not being like, Amy Schumer apologized for this. Amy Schumer is racist. Amy Schumer said that Hispanic men are rapists. Amy Schumer told a young woman that she was going to be raped. Amy Schumer joked about rape. Because like this is the bitch who kept crying misogyny. During that time, why wasn't there anybody who was like, excuse me, isn't it misogynistic to tell a woman that she's going to be raped? Does that sound like a girl power woman to you? It sounds like some dark shit of somebody who went through something and wants everybody else to go through it. If that's what you're dealing with, you're processing it wrong. If you want to process through comedy, it has to be funny. This woman got them to change fucking Netflix, but she's the one who made that joke. Dave Chappelle was fucking canceled for like itty bitty thing compared to Hispanic men are rapists. What's the joke? There is no joke. It's racist and it's disgusting. And the fact that she got away with it, and to this day, it's not a smear. Has she apologized for this? I don't know. I haven't looked for it, and I'm not going to, because if I look up any more Amy Schumer, Ellie's gonna keep trying to throw it at me. Well, I can't just delete my watch history, but you know what I mean. I don't know, man. It made me feel so icky inside, and it helped me understand dark humor. And dark humor is something that oftentimes won't land to everyone in the room, but it will land to some. And it is successful if it is funny, but not funny in a way that harms other people. Just funny in the sense of we're mocking the human experience. So I feel like, actually, no, I know that she only got away with this because she's white and a woman. Because Matt Rife, I did a video about him, by the way. Just go look for it. Matt Rife is this white guy who's a comedian, and he said some shit that wasn't funny to a lot of people, but in retrospect, compared to that Amy Schumer did, is completely innocuous. And people were on his dick about it. And he was like, it's because I'm attractive. I'm not trying to defend him or anything. What I'm trying to say is, if we deep faked that video and we made it so that it looks like Matt Rife and we released it, the man would be destroyed.
There is a gray area of rape. Like, you've been raped. I can tell.
There is a gray area of rape. Like, you've been raped. I can tell.
But Amy Schumer? Oh no, honey, Amy Schumer's in fucking award show crowds. She's there, busy complaining to the world because she looks like Theodore. Theodore's the fat one, right? Of the chipmunks? I might be wrong. Yeah, no, Simon is the tall one, Alvin is the cool one, Theodore is the fat one. Bitch looks like Theodore. She mad at us about it, talking about some, oh, I have this and this condition and that condition. It's like, okay, dude. For a comedian, you just have paper thin skin. Comedian. Anyway, I just wanted to rant and rave because our language is reflective of our culture. This stand-up special was released in 2017. I'm gonna assume it was released on Netflix. At no point was anybody like, are you sure you want to put that in? You can tell who's in a room by what slides. So, for example, if there are no black people in a room, certain things will be on TV. And black people will be like, we know there was no black person in the room, because if there was a black person in the room, they would have stopped this shit immediately. So when I see something like that, I'm like, okay, there's not a lot of Hispanic people in that room. Because I'm pretty sure one Hispanic person would have been like, maybe we cut that joke out. Because a lot of times racial insensitivity comes from the fact that nobody in the room is of another race other than white. So they don't clock it. They've got a blind spot to it. You need a person there, a person of color there, just to protect yourself from PR nightmares. But there was no PR nightmare because nobody cared that Amy Schumer just said that Hispanic men are rapists. So I'm not Hispanic or American. But I don't like Amy Schumer, and I don't like white woman privilege. I feel like we should hold white women more accountable in society. I don't have Twitter, so I can't try to start a hashtag cancel Amy Schumer. And let's be honest, how do you cancel somebody who isn't really all that popular anymore? And again, cancellation is stupid, because if I say I'm canceling Amy Schumer, I don't consume anything of Amy Schumer. I don't care about her. And honestly, if there were ever to be like some sort of riot, Amy Schumer said this in 2017, you know, we give her the white man treatment, the black man treatment, that treatment of people who go into your Twitter. 2010, she said this. Well, we're allowed to do it because it was 2017. It's not even that long ago. Calm the fuck on. How did this happen? Part of progress is accountability. And if white women aren't held to the standard that other racial groups are without accountability, it isn't progress. It's just various forms of immunity to social consequences. Okay, guys, I had fun with this one. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you made it this far, please just leave me a chipmunk emoji. Yes, please leave me a chipmunk emoji. I hope those exist. Any tiny rat like creature, you can put it there. Hey, we all come from Megastrodon, so is it really such an insult to be called a rat? Or is it a shout out to our humble beginning?